welcome back to Royal Blu FX. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the two trades that I took today on GU, okay, on London session. So I also want to talk about how a lot of times when we're trading, everyone, and this is very typical for everyone to think about, you know, whenever they're trading, is to always think about making money, right? And so this can be a very big downfall for a lot of people, because I know every single day that everyone's looking to make money, right? And that's what we're driven emotionally, right, is to make money, right? So with having said that, right, trading is obviously counter averse, right? You need to not think about money, right? And obviously think about how to essentially come down to a point where you need to think about how to play defense, okay? Playing defense instead of offense, right? And so again, having said that, I'm actually, whenever I'm trading, I'm not thinking about just making money. I'm thinking about, and I've been saying this to a lot of my students, especially. I've been saying that don't think about making money, because that's what's emotionally driving you, but think about how to actually how to do your strategy better, right? To perfect your strategy, right? To follow the rules rather than actually trying to make money. And the reason why this is going to help a lot of traders out there is because whenever you're thinking about doing the strategy correctly, that takes a whole lot of weight off your shoulders in terms of whenever you lose, right? So let's say you did your strategy correctly whenever you're trading, right? And you did end up losing a trade, right? Well, in that case, if you lost, emotionally, you shouldn't feel terrible about the trade, right? You wouldn't go flipping your computer over and whatever, bashing your screen or whatever. You'd feel decent about it, because you think, okay, you're thinking to yourself, okay, I'm following my strategy, but I'm not actually and I lost due to following my strategy. That's totally fine, because things like that happen. However, when you do make money, right, making money is the icing on the cake. It's the cherry on the top. Okay, so whenever we're trading, we want to make sure that we only try to do our best by following our strategy, by following the process, making sure the process is correct, right? And that's by following our rules, right? Not thinking about chasing money, all right? So that's what I wanted to get off my shoulder and actually let you guys know. And this is how I follow my day-to-day basis whenever I trade. So let's continue with the two trades that I've taken today on GU. I'm going to it's going to be a very quick video, because I think, we don't need to keep this too long, obviously. The first thing I always do is go on a 30-minute, kind of look at where supply and demand has been, right? And you can see over here, from when price broke here, right? You can see right there, there's your buy to sell. This is your failed demand zone to supply. And then all this becomes, right here, all this becomes liquidity, right? On the major structure. So let me just go take this all the way here. Okay, and so today, when price opened, it opened up here, right over here. That's where the London session was, right? And I like to go from the low to the high all the time. I wait for price to hit my EQ line right there, right? As you can see, it tapped, right? You can see everyone was trying to sell here, trying to sell here, trying to sell here, trying to sell there, until we got there, right? And this is where, that's my signal, essentially, when price taps the EQ line, right? And so once price got there, you can also see, I want to show you guys here that we're also on a major demand zone as well on the 4 hour. So this is why I also look at the 4 hour. Right here, we have a sell to buy. We have failed supply, strong demand coming in, right? Price came in here, and guess what? Tap the EQ right here, right? So this is also a sign for me that prices, this checked off, right? Prices are running bullish. So once I understood that the 4 hours bullish, the 30-minute, I was also thinking in my mind that we need to be also selling on, or excuse me, looking to buy on the 30-minute as well, right? But price did not get down here when I was trading at the time. Let me just get out of here. There's 3 a.m. That's London in New York. That's New York time, 3 a.m. right? So this is what I was seeing clearly like this, right? I marked out my failed supply to demand. This is where the EQ is right there. So price, I was waiting for price to get here on London, right? And also marking my internal supply and demand zones that made sense for price for price to get to. Okay, so let's talk about when the open happens, right? Here it is. It's 2:57 at 3 a.m. New York time is when London is opening, right? So I follow that session, right? New York time. So when price opened, I had one of two things. Price, if you can zoom out here and you see this right here. Oop, that's a GU alert. Never mind about that. Okay. If you could see here, we tapped the 50, but then we're making order flow is bullish. You can see sell, buy, right? Right over here, right? So my immediate thought was, okay, well, we could be buying because obviously the 4 hour is bullish, right? Like I showed you guys, the 4 hour is bullish. So I waited for price to get to this demand zone right here. And then I wanted for price to start switching like this so I can take price bullish, right? But mind you, today was also, it wasn't just, when I saw where price was today, where we are here at the supply zone, this was telling me two things. I'm either going to be buying or selling. I can buy or sell today. It's not one confirmed direction at this point, right? I know that the 4 hours bullish. I know the 30 minutes bullish, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to be also. It doesn't mean I'm going to be buying today, also, right? Because the lower the time frame, the lower the time frames, the more data I get, the more times I'm actually able to see what if I'm going to be buying or selling, right? Depending if I want to take the internal structure versus the external structure or the major structure. So let's play this on, right? Price is starting to go bearish, right? I'm on the 1 minute actually, just like this, right? And so far I'm like just waiting for price to get here, right? I usually like to be in trades right away because I want to I want to limit myself on the computer. Don't like to normally be on the computer for like 2, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. Okay, you can see here there's your failed demand to supply, right? Demand took over, then failed demand to supply. So in any case, I've been monitoring this supply zone, right? Waiting to see if price could get there for the sell maybe. Nothing happened, as you can see, right? Price is reacting to this internal small supply. There's nothing here on this this demand that tells me that, you know, the demand is supposed to react from. It's just price is reacting off of some random imbalance. Then price gets to this demand zone right here, right? Hits my 50, my EQ. Now I'm starting to look for confirmation. Two things can happen here. Price can run, right? Fake out and continue, right? Then I would get the flip, right, for the buy just like that. Or I could see some internal order flow, just something like this. And then when I see the failed demand, I could still take it like this, right? And then waiting for price to break this supply, right, to continue something like this, right? Anything. I'm just looking for confirmation, and this is where that rule of thumb for me is thinking of making sure that I make sure I trade the process correctly. I have established all my rules and everything, that I'm following the whole process correctly, right? That's what I'm looking for. I'm not trying to chase money because the money's the icing on the cake. It's the cherry on the top, right? It's going to come to me, all right? Making money is the extra happiness that you're going to get, right? So here, we're simply waiting to see what price would do. Price then, obviously, price runs bullish, then fails. This is a good sign for me because now it tells me that supply here held, right? And then demand here is breaking, right? And so what I'm looking for here now is sells. I'm looking for sell, sells essentially. So if I zoom out and you can see right over here, right, what I'm doing right now is I monitor each low here, each demand, right? And I'm seeing where each of these demand zones, what price does when the sellers are coming in, what are suppliers and demand, what is supply and demand doing, right? I'm looking at the interaction between supply and demand. So let's go right in here and you'll see what I'm doing here. So price ran low, right? I didn't sell all that. Price came and tapped this demand zone, right? And it's a demand zone because it's another area where demand took place right there, right here. So we had a reaction here and we have another reaction here, okay? So that's two types of demand, right? Then I look up here and I see, well, where was this demand taking place? Well, it took place here because there's more. If you zoom out, there's where the last demand took place, right here, right? There's your demand. And there's more demand right there, right? So this is where what I see. I see a failed demand to supply. So instead of me actually taking aggressive entry from here, right, to sell, because I could if I wanted to, again, the same thing runs in my mind. The process of doing this correctly. I need to make sure that the process of setting up the whole thing is right, right? And this is by essentially following my rules. So we wait for price to tap the 50, right? Just like that. Price taps the 50. It sweeps, right? I don't know why it's that low, but it should be right there. Yeah. It runs the 50, the EQ, right? And then my confirmation comes in. Now I have to start reading price. A lot of people don't do this, but I start reading price. And the price is, to me, it's not a chalk boss. I don't wait for chalk bosses like this, okay? Even if you did a chalk boss like this is the wrong chalk from in here. I mean, it's internal, it's an internal chalk, but chalk bosses don't essentially tell you that prices are reversing. Sure, they're great, but I'm looking at failed supplies and failed demand zones. So if prices are going bearish, I need to look for a failed demand zone, right? Not a chalk boss, right? So watch this. So we tap this demand zone, and we don't fill it quite in because if you look at the line chart, price was never actually there, right? So instead, and why is this the demand zone? Because look to the left, we see buy to sell, right? And you take this supply zone, span it across. You can use sell to buy. All this is just liquidity, right? Sitting for this low, right? Okay, so let's continue here. Now this is a clue right here. You can see the failed demand took place. Supply is taken over, right? And now this is where I look to take the entry when price get there, right there. I don't know why I don't have this highlighted, but it's right here, back at the EQ, right there. So I could do this right there, supply, boom. Right there, hit the EQ, I'm selling it, right? And now I have to think that all my rules are correct. I did everything right? Even if it took me out, I did everything right. Price taps the demand zone here at this EQ, right? And starts to run up. Now, am I buying here? Am I hesitant? No, I'm just playing the rules, right? I have my stop loss at the high here. I'm all good, right? Price comes into here now. Hold on, right there, right? Where is it? Hold on a second. It should be right there, right? So price got in there, tap the EQ, right, and then we're entering, right? And why are we entering there? Well, that's because we have a failed demand to supply, right? This whole area here is a failed supply zone, right? Excuse me, a failed demand zone. The demand did not break this high and price flips. That's because that's where I'm going to be entering at the EQ, right? So once we enter there, right, now I'm making sure that I did everything correctly, right? And why, I don't know why that's up there. It should be down here because that's where we targeted, right there, right here, right? And then we just stick in it, right, and trust our process, and boom, hit TP, right? This was a 6.5 and this was a 5.8%, right? And that's how we did it. That's the only trades that I need to be taking today, right? All because I understood what price was doing on supply and demand, and where the direction was on the higher time frame, right? Now, sometimes the higher time frame direction doesn't mean that you're going to be buying that day, right? You could still be selling like I did today, right? It doesn't mean that you'll be buying. So I obviously sold today, right? But if I waited for more, right, if I waited for price to get all the way down here, I could still be looking for buys, because this is for longer term traders, right? I'm a short term trader. This will take a while, actually. Let's get out of here. Boom. Anyway, yeah. Let's go on the daily. Boom. Right, and then price just fills in. Okay, let's go back down to the 30-minute, like that, right? And so notice how, again, we came to the 50. This is where I would have been looking for buys, just like that, right? Now, you guys might be looking at the sell here. I didn't take the sell, but with another student that I was talking about, I said, well, this is my supply zone right here. Look at that, from this low to the high, right? The EQ's right here, price taps the EQ, right? I could have sold aggressively, but I didn't. I was actually with, I wasn't doing this. I was trading US 30 today too as well. But yeah, guys, that's it, right? And then from this perspective, this is where we look for buys, right? Because we know that the GU has to go bullish today. This is the major demand zone right here, right? You can see price runs up, right? There's your sell to buy. Last supply zone, or last supply zone, right? There you go. Hit the EQ, and there's your buy, right? Simple as that, guys. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys learned a thing or two about this these two trades that I take today. I hope you guys love the video. Please throw a huge thumbs up on this video and go ahead and comment below. I want to see what your guys' thoughts about this video is. Okay, until then, I'll see you in the next.